Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
How does it feel to be 70? I mean, because you don't look 70, sir.
Well, the truth of the matter, the real truth is that I'm still feeling as I felt at 50.
Wow.
Truly. My energy level is still high.
Okay.
I work as I used to work.
Okay.
I train as I used to train. There's really nothing that has significantly changed. That's the truth. I'm trying to search if there's somewhere I can say there's a change. You know, maybe sometimes I look at my face in the mirror and it looks as if it's creasing a little bit. Otherwise, somehow God has, you know, kept me quite agile and, you know, healthy. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to find out from you, what was the first thing you did when you woke up on your 78th birthday?
Of course, the first thing I did was to kneel down and pray and thank God for a wonderful opportunity. You know, because you just can't sufficiently thank God for His mercies. Because when I look back, I just kept saying, God, so I got here. You know, because the truth of the matter is that at some point in my life, I didn't believe I'll get to 70. At some point. Even though I eventually overcame that type of negative thinking. But because of what I had passed through, when I was 25 years old, I looked at what I had passed through, the war, everything. That was my final year in the university. I said, God, if you give me another 25 years, you have tried for me. Okay? You know, but God gave me that 25. I've had 20 more, and I know He's going to give me another 40 more years.
Amen.
You know, yeah, so I believe that God has been gracious, and that's why the greatest thing I can do to God is to thank Him, to applaud Him, to seek out to please Him, because I know He doesn't give us life for the fun. He keeps us this way because there's work to be done. You know, He equips you for the work to be done. If there was no work to be done, I probably would be like any other retired man, tired, you know, not able to go anywhere. I left by 2, I left by 11:30. 11 or something to Benin. Okay. Arrived Benin at about 11:40. Did my event, finished. It wasn't complete. I escaped by 2:30 to catch a 2:50 flight back. Wow. So nobody will believe I've been to Benin. I'm back in the last 3-4 hours. Wow. And yet I have a lot of things here to do for the day.
All right, Mazi, was there a specific request you made to God on that day?
Yeah, what I made is I said, yes, God, I know You've kept me this far. And you've talked to me. You revealed to me that there's an assignment you still want me to accomplish. And actually that's why you've been preparing me for an assignment. You've been preparing me for something else. I say, God, let that which You want me to do come. Let me fulfill my destiny, fulfill my purpose, and keep me alive to get the work done, so that when I come back to You, what I'll get is that expected applause. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. That's what I'm hoping for.
I like that.
So that was my specific request.
All right. So what has been the greatest lesson that life has taught you at 70?
Well, the greatest lesson life has taught to me is that our lives are in the hand of God. Okay. We are like what it says, clay in the hand of God, and God molds us the way He wants. And the moment you are able to link your life to purpose, what God wants you to do for Him, your life becomes sweet music.
All right, Mazi, you're one of the few 70-year-olds, that I know, who are still active and agile, like you rightly said. How do you do it? How have you been doing it?
As I said, it's difficult to answer the question, but the point is that I wake up every day with a mission, with an objective, with things to do. Actually, I'm struggling each day to accomplish all the things I've planned to do.
Wow.
Tomorrow I'm headed out here, by God's grace, with my wife. We head to Owerri. I have a series of meetings in Owerri, 4, 5. Then I'll head to Umuahia on Thursday, on Friday. Then I head to Aruchukwu. Then I'm back here on Monday. And I head to Ibadan. So I'm running to catch up with what I need to do. It's difficult to find when people tell me I have no work to do, or some of my friends are amazed. Not today, the amazement didn't start today at 70, they've been amazed all my life. I say, well, God has His purpose. He creates us in the way He likes, assigns all roles He wants, and He's able to provide for it. One other lesson I've learned is this, that, like the story of the talent. The moment God gives everybody talent, giving you also, giving me, mine may be more than yours or you more than, but it is not the number. The moment you use that talent well, God will multiply it. Are you getting me? Yes. Somebody told me one day that if you don't want to keep living well, if you don't want to just start going back, start refusing to do what God asked you to do, He'll take the talent away from you and give it to another man. That's what he did in the Bible. So the more I use my talent, the more I use my time, the more I use my resources, the more God replenishes them. That's what I have found. Because I've seen friends, classmates who are far retired. When you see them, you think they are my, parents.
They are your own.
Yeah. So I think it's just because some people either already accomplished what they thought they have come here to do, or some do not exactly know what it is. Some have not discovered their purpose. They think this life is just where to come, pass through, and fall down, get up, and go home. That's not my idea. God has set us here. He said He has set us here to bring pleasure to Him. So there's something He wants me to do to bring pleasure. There's a purpose. I'm not an accident. I am a deliberate creature of God.
I like that. Now, Mazi, one of the things you did on your 70th birthday was to launch a book. Before I delve into some other issues, I would like you to tell us a little about this, your new book, Wired to Lead.
It's Wired to Lead. I say was life lessons from many years of organizational leadership.
Okay.
I have passed through leadership positions severally in my life, from childhood to now, and I have come to the conclusion that I am wired to lead. Because you see, you discover yourself, you see certain trends repeating themselves. So at 70 you must find out what actually were you set out to do. What is it, that unique thing God has put in you? My book is saying I have come to the conclusion that leadership is a call on my life, and that with leadership comes service and all that. And so I gave the lessons that I have learned in the process, things of the impact of vision. I said that the power of vision. I spoke about the need to plan every detail, every time, plan everything. I gave the issues of how hard work has no substitute. I spoke about why one should not die in his mistake. Spoke about my areas of failures, about being too trusting, jumping into businesses before I even know who I'm going to bed with and what it cost me. I spoke about stereotyping, why you should not stereotype people by just meeting them facially or just hearing their names. I gave how I also overcome my own stereotype disease and why everybody must deal with this. I talked about integrity as a bankable asset. Integrity is a bankable, and what is unique about my book is that for each lesson there's a testimony, like a case study. Each of those, I have 21 lessons, and each one is followed with most of them are followed by testimonies of real life experiences that through which I learned those lessons. I spoke about marketing as being the major solution to many business problems, and I spoke about revenue being vanity, profit being sanity, and cash being king. How you manage cash flow in organizations and my own experiences. So that's the kind of thing, and it's dedicated to business leaders, young leaders, and even old ones. I mean, there was one fairly old, elderly person who read this book and invited me to come and deal with some issues he's dealing with, older than myself. I didn't believe it. He said there are 2 chapters he wants me to help him. And many people buy the books they give to their children because they remember mistakes they made, which I've highlighted and I made too, and how I corrected them, and they want their children to avoid them or how to correct them.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's very nice. Very nice. Now, why do you think that most people who are about your age or who are even older than you, that they find it difficult to funnel their own life stories into a book? Why are they holding back from sharing some of those knowledge, so that the younger ones and even the older ones can read and learn from their own life trajectory or trajectories?
Yeah. Well, I think there are many reasons. Some may want to do it, but they don't have the discipline, to sit down. I remember one lady I was with in Benin now, a politician, she said that she's been trying to sit down and write. That each time I'm writing, she's wondering that she's just wondering why she can't sit down and write. I say it's discipline. If you can't sit down in one place, then take a holiday. Spend 1 month, and then you start. When you start writing 1 or 2 chapters, you have. And I told her some of the times I write, it's in transit because I fly frequently. So while people are making noise, I'm writing. While I'm on held up between here and Lagos Island, thank God for iPad, thank God for smartphone, I am working. So that's one. Some don't have the time. Some think they don't have a story. 3, some think their story is not going to be good enough. Many people they don't have the self-confidence to confess where they have. That's why some are not Christians. I mean, I know that it took me a long time to become Christian because it was this macho, you want to be, you don't want to be seen as being weak. You get the point?
Yes.
So it's the same. People are not willing. I remember the day I wrote my story, in the Full Gospel magazine. It was published. One man called, say, Mazi, why are you doing open confession? I said, what am I not going to do? What is your business? If from tomorrow you don't want to greet me again, please stop. If you don't want to give me food again, stop. But I have cleared my conscience because the moment you declare your area of failure, people are going to say you've changed. People are not going to be watching you, whether you are going to go back to there. But when you are secretly not telling anybody, so it means you can go and come. You can revert to your own way. Nobody will call you to order.
All right. Now, Mazi, you're one of the lucky people. The business you left behind is still thriving. How do you feel about it, and what do you think are responsible for that?
Well, for me, I thank God that it is, that the business is surviving despite all the economic circumstances and situation and the industry challenges in pharmaceutical manufacturing and all that. But I thank God we're surviving because I keep telling people that not all companies that started with Neimeth are still alive. And given the circumstances of our own birth, which was quite stressful, it's God's grace. But I also believe that God is a rewarder. I believe that I invested my life in Neimeth, in seeing that company survived after the transition from Pfizer. It was a tough job, but I invested my life. I gave everything that you need to give, what you call deferred gratification. I refused to take any advantage for myself. I put in fact, it's so bad that my children were angry with me. When I was retiring in 2011, my retirement benefit, I invested it in the company. They say you should have broken it into two, take half.
And
yeah, I saw Neimeth as a baby, and anything I needed to do to make it grow, because I believe that at the end I will benefit. That's my belief, and that's what has driven it. So that kind of attitude, God rewards. He sacrificed. When he made sacrifice, they said Solomon makes sacrifice, God came down. Anytime he makes sacrifice, genuine one, not just for you, but for God or for other people, God rewards. So I think he's rewarding that. Number two is also the kind of, the Bible says, there's no other foundation you can build except the foundation that has been built. If you build on sound foundation, he says those who build on solid foundation, when the rain comes, the wind comes, they will stay. But those who build on shaky foundation, small rain or small wind will blow them out. Since we took over Neimeth, we built it on the sure foundation of certain values of ethics, probity, fear of God. We have God consciousness, and other such values that sometimes make us look like we're Jew men, in quotes, when you're not street smart, you don't do what everybody else is doing, and you look like you're not doing as well as they are. In the eyes of the world, they're asking, why are you not doing as well? And then they want to suggest to you how to do as well. But we saw those suggestions, we said no. They said a little with righteousness is great gain than much with vanity. So we tried to follow, we didn't say we're perfect, but we feared God. We tried to do things in the best way we could. Even if where we failed, God knew what our hearts were. I also believe that it's part of the reason the company is surviving, that we try to set certain core values, certain way of doing business that show that we feared God. God consciousness is a core value of the company, still one of the 8 or 9 values. And we say we believe in God. We trust that we can't do anything without him, and so forth. And so when you believe in God, if you truly believe in God, every other thing follows that way. I don't need to teach you any other. When you believe in God, I'm not going to teach you not to steal. I'm not going to teach you not to commit adultery or fornication. I'm not going to teach you to bear false witness. I'm not going to teach you, because believe in God and fear of God takes. That's why they say the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So that has helped us, in sustaining the business.
All right, now, Mazi, for a businessman and for a business to succeed, what are the fundamental things that must be done?
For a business to succeed, the fundamental thing first is there a market for your product or service? Because every business is set to do one of 3 things. A business must solve a problem, or create or solve or fill a need, or create value. It must do one of those 3 things. If it doesn't do anything, it's not a business. It can be a charitable something or whatever, but if it's a business that will be sustainable, it must fill need, solve problem, or create value. That's one. Number 2 is that need sufficient enough? Is the value is to create sufficient enough? Is the problem is going to solve sufficient enough to invest the type of resources you want to invest? So there must be a market, and that market must be sustainable, and it must be a market that is growing. If you go and invest in a market that is declining, you start trouble at the same. Because what is the soul of business? As with the soul of business is customer creation. The moment you have, the day you started, yes, maybe you had 5 people who are either buying or advertising, because that's how you make your revenue.
That's true, sir.
So the day today, if you still have that same number of people, then it means that you are going back. Your business is retrogressing. You can tell me, because I was there when you launched with Senator Ba at so I was there. So you know, if you cannot say my readership has grown, my advertisers have grown, my whatever have grown, then you are not in business. So you must be in a business growing.
Okay.
That is the second one, and you must constantly seek to grow that number. That's how business grows. The more customers you have, the more business you're doing. The more customers buy per transaction, the more business you're doing. So the focus is to grow business. That's what I talk about market. That's if that my book, I say marketing solves many business problems. I found that. Even today as a consultant, I'm being called to help companies that the moment I solve their marketing problem, all of that, even the cash flow improves. Because as I said there, the moment you are selling your product and growing customer, what happens? You'll attract your cash you're depositing in the bank will increase. Bank will see you, and they can
give you loan.
The more customers you have, your distributors will deposit money for you. Your suppliers will give you on credit, just because you are creating customers. Everybody wants to hear that you are creating customers, and that's what many marketing companies do. So the company must have a market, it must have a need you're filling. The other thing is that you must have a proper plan.
Okay.
Don't make any move without a plan. Don't just assume. Make a plan, and have one, not just plan A, make plan B. If you can, make plan C. Because the Bible says in the morning, sow your seed, in the evening, withhold not thy hand. Because you do not know which one will prosper, either this or that, or both of them. So that God's teaching us wisdom. Only God knows what will work 100%. So always plan your growth. The other thing that is critical for business success is that you must institute a mechanism of having the right people. Because if you have a vision, which is part of the have your market, you have a vision, you have a plan, then you must have the right human resources. And once you create the right human resources, the next thing is to look for appropriate financing. Human resources are the appropriate management, and you are done.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Now, Mazi, I would like to find out from you, for an individual to have a taste of success, what must the person do?
To have a taste of
success, yeah.
Where to start first is to define what success is.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a definition of success, you cannot know whether you are there. Success means many things to many people, and in different industries and different endeavors. So first you must define what success is. Now when you define it, then success is the ability to accomplish your set target or set objective on any score. If you're looking for, say, I'm going to marry at age 32, and you achieve it, you're successful. I'm going to be a GM by God's grace at age 40. I'm going to build my first house at age 40. I'm going to buy my first car at age 35. You know, I'm going to make my first million at age 50. I'm going to come out a first class. You know, the problem people don't enjoy life, don't even know they are succeeding, is that they have no target. They are just, you know, as weather. When they wake up, people come to their trade. They put their goods and sit down, be playing draft, waiting for customer to come. If it doesn't come, they go home and say today they're bad market. And they didn't do anything to attract customers into their shop. Just sit down, play Ludo and waste time. So we need to set up what our target, what are we looking at, then work to achieve it. And the day you achieve it, there's a feeling of accomplishment. That is success.
Wow.
But success in life is a bigger thing.
Okay.
It has different components. The same way I spoke about is understanding what God has called you to this world to do. It's not to make money. If it's what is going to make money, fine. Here are things you have. Money is to enable you achieve your purpose. It's not your purpose. It's not your purpose to achieve money. Money will make you, help you. I'm going to Lagos, so that's my destination, that's my purpose. What do I need money for? To buy bus or taxi. That's if I don't have a purpose, the money is of no significance. I can have money in my pocket, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, well, that's very nice.